Tonight on SportsDesk, we'll break down the red-hot Hurricanes football team as they gear up for a matchup in Chapel Hill. Take a look into the Miami basketball team as they work through a program-rocking scandal. That and a look into a mythical sport that's made its way into the real world on Miami's campus. SportsDesk starts right now.
This is Andre Johnson. You're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching SportsDesk.
I'm Ken Dorsey, and you're watching SportsDesk.
Hello and welcome to Sports Desk. I'm David Perez.
And I'm Meredith Sloan. David, it's another week of Miami Hurricanes football.
Yeah, Meredith, another week. And last week, the Canes brought out the turnover chains 3 times. And I'll tell you one thing, I just can't get enough of it.
You know, it's the hottest piece of jewelry right now in South Florida, but it's currently making its way to North Carolina. It was another game-winning touchdown for the Hurricanes last Saturday. The Cardiac Canes are now 6-0 and are traveling up to Chapel Hill to take on UNC tomorrow. Can these Canes stay undefeated? Our In the Trenches team gives their take. Guys?
Welcome to In the Trenches. I'm your host, Alex Manella. He is Josh White. We're here to break down Hurricanes football. Now, Josh, last week Syracuse comes into Miami. Miami narrowly escapes with the victory. Final score of 27-19 was a little bit off from what you thought. You thought it was going to be a little bit more of a larger gap. It was a little bit of a closer game in this one. Walk us through those positives and negatives for the Hurricanes in this one.
I think for Miami, their defense really flexed their muscles in the early going, forcing 4 turnovers in the first half. One they gave back right away. Demetrius Jackson had the interception, fumbled it right back. But Michael Jackson with a huge first half and an interception to get things rolling defensively for the Hurricanes. He got to wear the turnover chain once. And then Jaquan Johnson getting in on the action, picking off Eric Dungy as well. He got to celebrate with his teammates and put on the Cuban link. And don't be afraid to call him Michael 2 Chains Jackson, as he gets to wear it twice. The turnover chain out and proud in that first half for the Hurricanes. And then the offense got rolling for Miami. And it was Malik Rozier coming out with a 60% completion percentage, finding receivers left and right. He finds Chris Herndon for a big touchdown in the second quarter. Herndon having a coming out party with 10 catches, 96 yards and a TD. Rozier then found the freshman Jeffrey Thomas deep down the field. There goes 4 as he had his first career touchdown of the season. And it was a big play for the freshman. And then on top of that, to put the icing on the cake for the Hurricanes, Travis Homer broke free for a huge run down the field, the 5.61 product, making Palm Beach proud as he put the game on ice. And Miami walked away with the 27-19 victory.
So with this win, Miami moves to 6-0 on the season. They're one of 8 remaining teams in the NCAA that's undefeated. So the Hurricanes fans are coming out thinking that maybe this could be the year for them, maybe putting together a special season. Is this the year for the Hurricanes?
I wouldn't jump the gun and say it's the year for Miami. Miami has a rich tradition, but it's starting to feel a little special for the Hurricanes. They've won 11 games in a row dating back to last year, the most they've won in a row since 2002. It's their first 4-0 start in the ACC since joining the conference in 2004. So Miami can string some wins together, and they're proving week in and week out they can get away with a win, whether it's close or whether it's a blowout. So if Miami can keep doing that, they're going to have to show it against some stronger teams, Virginia Tech and Notre Dame in the coming weeks. But the fate is in their own hands, and they could schedule a date in Charlotte in December, and they could play in the ACC championship game.
All right, now transitioning into this week, the Hurricanes will be in Chapel Hill against UNC. UNC is a completely different football team than they were last year. Obviously, they lose Mitchell Trubisky to the draft. How do you think the Hurricanes are going to handle the Tar Heels in this one?
I think when you talk about North Carolina, you start with all of those injuries the Tar Heels have. They have 17 players already out for the season, some notable guys up and down that roster. Their backup running back, who's now their starter, even out for this week as well. So North Carolina is riddled with injuries, and that's going to present problems for the Tar Heels. But when you look at this North Carolina team, what they have on paper, they looked ugly last week versus Virginia Tech. They were not able to get the job done as well. Turnover after turnover after turnover. So I'm going to take the Hurricanes 34-13. I think Miami gets the blowout win they were looking for. And we'll see what the Hurricanes can do and see if this season rolls.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow if that's the case. That will do it for In the Trenches.
Thanks, Alex. Earlier this week, the men's basketball team held a media event to give fans a glimpse into their upcoming season. Our reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez was there. Isaiah?
It was media week for UM men's basketball. Coach Jim Larinaga and his players had a chance to preview the season. But the first question on every reporter's mind was the one the team just would not answer. Miami Hurricanes basketball is just days away from their 2017 season opener. But UM has been dealing with an ongoing FBI investigation, one that is looking into possible corruption in the school's recruiting process.
I cannot state more emphatically that I have absolutely no knowledge of any wrongdoing by any member of our staff, and I certainly have never engaged in the conduct that some have speculated about.
And things got just a little awkward when reporters continued to ask about the federal probe.
May I read something to you? While I certainly understand and appreciate that you have a job to do in asking me questions, I simply cannot answer any questions related to the investigations as they are ongoing.
We haven't really done anything. I don't really know anything about that situation, to be honest with you.
There is no telling when this case will be solved, but until then, there is basketball to be played. The Canes are ranked number 12 in the preseason coaches poll, the highest in Miami history. A core of Bruce Brown, Jaquan Newton, and All-American freshman Lonnie Walker is a big reason why. Brown, Walker, and Newton are considered one of the best backcourts in the country. This is the core the team hopes will lead them not only to an ACC championship, but a national one as well.
We all can score the ball, and I think we're going to take advantage of that. So I think it should be a good year for all three of us.
Brown averaged nearly 12 points and 6 rebounds as a freshman last season. Now it is his turn to lead the charge.
Last year I think I was kind of lenient on the defensive end because Reed was always guarding the best player on the floor. But this year I've taken it upon myself to try to create havoc for Jaquan or Chris.
And when it comes to Walker, there isn't much this top recruit can't do.
Bruce and DJ are just terrific young men. This kid is cut out of the same cloth, has a lot of great intangible qualities.
Miami will play their first game against Gardner-Webb University on November 10th. Reporting from Coral Gables, I'm Isaiah Kim Martinez, UMTV.
UM baseball alum Alex Cora has agreed to become the manager of the Boston Red Sox. Cora played for the Canes from 1993 to 1996. He was named to the College World Series all-tournament team twice and led the school to their 1996 national title game appearance. Cora played 14 MLB seasons for 6 different teams. He is currently serving as the bench coach for the AL champion Houston Astros. Cora will take over his managerial duties in Boston at the conclusion of this World Series.
I love to see a former Cane join the Red Sox.
Yeah, Meredith, it's great to see a former Cane not only join the Red Sox, but when we come back, we'll see how one former Cane and NFL player is adjusting to his life after football. Don't go anywhere.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier.
My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
It's been so amazing to be able to give our child the life that we kind of pictured us having, even though we didn't really have that.
I've been in foster care my whole life.
He's so strong to just be able to leave that all behind and still be able to take care of his daughter and be a good husband.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone.
We've been through so much in our life, and he never used that as an excuse, but as motivation to do better.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Football is one of the most physically demanding sports in the world. Whether players doing the tackling or getting knocked on the ground themselves, the sport takes a toll on the body. UMTV reporter Emmy Petit-Frere has a story on one of the newer methods for athletes to heal, especially when their playing days are over.
Many pro athletes struggle to find their footing once their athletic career ends. After playing 6 seasons as an NFL wide receiver, Laurent Robinson can attest to that.
Then reality kind of set in. I was like, wait a minute, nobody's signing me. What's next in life? I wasn't prepared for life after football.
Laurent took on the role of a stay-at-home dad for a few years, raising his 3 beautiful children before taking his next step, which would be right onto the University of Miami campus. where he enrolled in the Executive MBA program for artists and athletes.
The beauty of the program is that it caters to people who have already had extensive experience in a very focused industry and helps them make the bridge to the business world after retirement.
After graduating from the program spring of 2017, Laurent jumped into the business world by starting his own cryotherapy studio. During his NFL career, Laurent used cryotherapy to help his body recover from the stress of football, and decided to bring it mainstream to benefit others who may have never heard of the exclusive technology. Cryotherapy is the process of cooling a person's skin by using liquid nitrogen. The whole cryo process takes about 3 minutes at negative 200 degrees Fahrenheit, where you can burn up to 800 calories. And moving helps. The benefits of cryotherapy include reduced muscle soreness, reduced anxiety, and others that clients like Keith enjoy.
Well, people have been telling me that I've been losing weight. They said, oh, you look a lot smaller. And I'm like, oh, okay, that must be the cryotherapy. Even though I work out hard, but I eat what I want. So I know it has to be the cryotherapy.
Laurent's MBA experience at UM helped inspire him to making his cryo dream a reality.
Good experience, had the locker room atmosphere in the classroom, so we got to see some of the other guys, and they actually motivated me to start getting into business and start doing things outside of football because I saw what they were doing, and I was like, wait a minute, if they can do it, I can do it. So it kind of helped motivate me and give me a jump start into the business world.
Laurent is thankful to the EMBA program at UM for getting him from one field to another. For UMTV, I'm Emmy Petitfrere.
Women's basketball will be holding their 8th annual fantasy camp at the Fieldhouse this Sunday. The camp is open to both men and women who are at least 21 years old. Activities include drills, games, and team-building exercises. The event will run from 4 to 6:30 p.m. For more information on how to sign up, follow @CanesWBB on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Women's basketball is also fresh off a tournament appearance in 2016, but a disappointing loss in the second round last season sent the Canes home packing. Coach Katie Meyer and the crew are ready to prove that they're picking things up where they left off last season. Reporter Jolie Starr previews the upcoming year.
Together tough. No person is tough by themselves.
Together tough. That's the motto for the Hurricanes women's basketball team this season. The Canes are coming off of a 24-9 season where they lost in the second round of the NCAA tournament. This team will look a bit different than last year. The Canes lost Adrienne Motley and Jessica Thomas, 2 of their starters.
Definitely big shoes to fill, well over 50% of our scoring. So it'll just be fun. It's just no one's really expecting a lot. We're ranked, 7 in the ACC, so we're not a top 5 team like we usually used to be in.
Even though the Canes lost 2 of their top performers, the culture of Miami basketball is still the same.
The Hurricanes are known for their lockdown defense, and as you can see behind me, they have no intentions of giving up that title this year.
Our new players are very strong and fast and quick, defensive, everything. They go hard, so we're definitely going to pride ourselves on our defense.
This season, the Canes also want to add a little something else to their reputation.
Just being, I guess, that team that everybody hates to play. Oh my gosh, Miami's so quick. Oh my gosh, Miami never stops playing. They never get tired.
Miami may not be ranked as high as they would like coming into the season, but the players, well, they think of it as a challenge.
So we just have a lot to prove, but we have everything to gain, nothing to lose, so I'm excited.
In Coral Gables, I'm Jolie Starr, UMTV.
Canes soccer lost 3-0 to Wake Forest in their final game of the season. This brings an end to a difficult 2017 year. Miami won just 5 games and finished near the bottom of the ACC standings, but there are silver linings. Redshirt junior Fallon Toulis allowed just 22 goals on the season, good enough to place 4th in UM history. The team also got impact performances all year from Christina Fisher and Maisie Baker. Both of them will be back and more experienced come next fall.
When we come back, get those brooms ready because the magical world of Harry Potter comes to campus. How some students are preparing for the biggest competition of the season and looking to keep their magical ride going as long as possible. And now it's time for some trivia. In 2015, Miami lost 59-21 against North Carolina on the road, the largest margin of victory in series history. When was the last time Miami beat the Tar Heels by 20+ points? Is it A, 2014, B, 2011, C, 2010, or D, 2006? Stay tuned for the answer right after the break.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I think Cordrea Tankersley is the greatest cornerback of all time.
Listen, he may be. I think the thing right now with this Dolphins secondary is they have too much talent. I don't know how they're going to hone everything down because the backups are going to get
He might as well be Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Meredith has no clue what we're talking about.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
If you guessed A 2014, you're right. Miami took down the Tar Heels 47-20 at Sun Life Stadium 3 seasons ago for their most recent win over UNC. The win came thanks to 2 100-yard rushing performances from both Duke Johnson and Joe Yearby, and a 3-touchdown game from Brad Kai as well.
Basketball season is right around the corner, and the Canes sit at number 12 in the preseason rankings. Simon Lara tells us why Miami is primed for a year to remember in this week's Simon Says.
While everybody's focusing on the undefeated Hurricanes football team, Miami men's basketball has made quite a splash in their offseason, for both good and bad. The bad, of course, is an ongoing investigation into the University of Miami's role in a bribery scandal involving several schools across the country and their apparel sponsor, Adidas. Yet while all that went down, Canes Hoops quietly had a very successful offseason in terms of improving the squad, which for now at least is the most important thing. Between the same main group from last year returning with more experience and a stronger physical presence, as well as a stellar freshman class including 5-star recruit Lonnie Walker, the Canes improved enough to earn them the number 12 ranking in the country's preseason coaches poll, Miami's highest ever preseason ranking. At the team's media day this week, Coach Jim Larrañaga emphasized that while this is still a young team, they've got plenty of budding potential. When asked about the team's improvements this offseason, Larrañaga said the following, quote, "Our sophomore class is much stronger physically, and we've had a couple freshmen who have been very, very impressive. 3, in fact, who I expect will play an awful lot," end quote. This is new territory for the Canes, who aren't used to being one of the top dogs in the stacked ACC. But this is also a very different Hurricane team than we're used to seeing. The season begins November 10th, and with a tough Big Ten ACC Challenge matchup against Minnesota at the beginning of the year, they'll have a good chance to prove they're for real early on. Hurricanes athletics across the board are right back where they should be, on top, or at least near the top. But in any case, big things are ahead for Miami Hoops. That's what Simon says.
For one women's basketball newcomer, living away from home is nothing new. This New Hampshire native is taking her collegiate talents to South Beach and pursuing her passion for painting on the side. UMTV's Chelsea Lavelle has the details.
Welcome back to Athlete of the Week. I'm Chelsea Lavelle here with women's basketball player Rebecca Ripley, also known as Becca, right? Mm-hmm. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you so excited for the season to open? It's so soon, right?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it since I got here. So
wow.
I'm excited.
What does it mean to you that you're officially a University of Miami women's basketball player?
It means a lot. I've been committed here since sophomore year, so it's been on my mind for a while, and kind of like fell in love with the school ever since I set foot here. So.
That's amazing. Yeah. And how are you transitioning with your relationships with your coaching staff, all of your new teammates? How's that going?
To be honest, I think I've definitely built unbreakable bonds with them already, and I'm looking forward to spending my next 4 years with them.
That's
for
amazing. Sure. So what is some hobbies that most people don't know about you?
Some hobbies, I enjoy surfing, swimming, and I enjoy drawing too. So,
drawing?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How did you get into drawing?
Well, my dad's mother was an artist in Poland, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're Polish?
Yeah.
Anything else?
French Indian too.
Wow,
yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So tell me about your fashion style.
My fashion style? I wear designer outside my basketball clothes.
Oh, I guess I can get you a Christmas present. What are your favorite, like, designer?
Gucci and Balenciaga, probably my two favorites.
Don't look for me at Christmas. Okay, so what about music? What's your favorite taste of music?
Drake's always been my favorite artist. He's like my go-to for everything. Before games, I listen to him and like 21 Savage, and give me hype. You know, so.
And so, like, is music your game day ritual before?
Oh yeah.
To get you
Oh, definitely. Like, always practice, games, lift. Like, always. I'm always listening to music.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thank you.
I'll see you at the desk.
When you think Quidditch, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Well, for most, it's broomsticks, spells, or Harry Potter, but for these athletes, it's one of the most competitive sports at the U. Turns out they're even ranked top 10 in the nation. I stopped by this club team to see the magic in action. Magic is a key component to this sport. However, it's no coincidence that the club Quidditch team is nationally ranked.
Among college teams, we are actually ranked top 10 nationally.
This literary game, based on the Harry Potter novels, is brought to life on college campuses nationwide. But it's not a sport for the wary.
It's definitely not that easy. It took me like a month to get the hang of it.
In real life, Quidditch is a combination of dodgeball, basketball, and rugby.
So dodgeball kind of with the beater play, and then basketball with like the passing and like the moving and working the ball and stuff like that, and then rugby because there's tackling too.
But this club sport is more than just a Harry Potter fan club.
It's a real game. It's really aggressive. It's very physical. It's not just a fan. It's fan based on the movie, but it's real. Like real athletes or like athletic people play that game.
With practices up to 4 days a week, these athletes are ready for the Crawfish Cup in New Orleans this weekend.
I think we have good shots at winning that tournament, at least making it to the final. We have some good odds, I guess.
Miami is going up against 15 teams from the South and Southwest Conference. For UMTV, I'm Meredith Sloan.
Students are often rewarded for excellent work in the classroom. Some kids get candy from their teacher, others get some extra cash from their parents. Coming up, we'll tell you the story of one baseball fan who earned a lot more than an A+.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
There's a new-look Eastern Conference in the NBA this season, with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kyrie Irving leading a youth movement. The two squared off for the first time this season last night, and Kyrie Irving took center stage for our play of the day. Second quarter of action here on Milwaukee's throwback court, where Kyrie Irving tells Malcolm Brogdon, hold on to my skate, step back, spin cycle, straight to the rack and in, making the basketball kiss off the rim right there. Irving had 24 points in the win and put the defending Rookie of the Year on skates right there with the shot clock winding down. They call him Untucked Kyrie for a reason on the floor, as Uncle Drew helped push their record over 500.
The Ravens decimated the Dolphins last night, but the attention has gone elsewhere. In the second quarter of last night's game, the Dolphins linebacker Kiko Alonso hit Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco in the head after he slid to avoid contact. Our head-to-head crew discusses what action should be taken.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Head to Head. I'm your host, Grace Smith, and I'm here with our analysts, Justin Stevens and Kylie Wang. This week we're discussing Kiko Alonso's controversial hit on Raven quarterback Joe Flacco. Was it justified or should he be penalized? Kylie?
He should absolutely not be penalized in any way. Maybe a minor fine at most, but even then, definitely no suspension. Look, if we're looking at the NFL rulebook, which we have to do in these situations where we have players getting suspended or fined, we cannot consider Joe Flacco to be a defenseless player because he was not on the ground. He was not sliding when Kiko Alonso launched himself at him. Therefore, at that point, he was not a defenseless player. So we can't use prohibited contact arguments. We can't use illegal launch arguments because he was not defenseless. He was sliding and he slid too late, and that's what happened. He slid too late. He wanted a first down. Okay, fine, understandable. But he slid too late. He got himself hurt.
Okay, I think rather than just analyzing all these words and everything, you have to look at the tape. There's at least 4 to 5 yards between the start of Joe Flacco's slide and Kiko Alonso's hit. It was an extremely violent hit. A linebacker, a defender, does not need to go in with his shoulder and his head to hit a quarterback who's going to the ground. How else is he supposed to
hit him? With his arms open?
To tackle him like a normal person, like a bear hug.
Like a bear hug?
Because that's how you're supposed to tackle. You're not supposed to tackle where you're risking the health and safety of another player. There's a reason that in the NFL today there's so much stress and there's so much importance on player safety with their head injuries, CTE, concussions. All of this is because time and time again defenders do things like this, which defenders that do this should be suspended so they at least learn a lesson.
He gets a fine, he learns his lesson. There's no reason for him to be suspended. It was not a flagrant foul. That's how they called it, and that's what it was. At the time that Joe Flacco passed the line of scrimmage and was carrying the ball, he's considered a runner. He's no longer considered really a quarterback. He's a runner. Therefore, the hit was justified. It was his fault for sliding too late and trying to get that first down that he got hit in the first place.
You can't even say he was sliding too late because if you slow down the footage and you look at it, there's so much area between the two of them before Joe Flacco gets hit. He gets hit right in the head, and it was in the act of sliding. When a quarterback is sliding, that essentially means that they're giving themselves up. That means that they are trying to call the play dead.
But he surrendered too late. He didn't surrender until Kiko Alonso was already launching himself at him, and the only reason that he even hit him in the head was because he slid so late that his head was on that plane.
And Kiko Alonso can pull up. He doesn't need to hit him with a shoulder.
All right, well, hopefully Joe Flacco makes a full recovery. This has been this week's edition of Head to Head. Back to you at the desk.
The World Series has been a clash of the Titans during the first 2 games, with aces going pitch for pitch on the mound. But in Game 2, the bats came alive to create an instant classic in the City of Angels. Game tied at 3 after Martin Gonzalez homer, top of the 10th inning, and Jose Altuve goes yard. The 5-6 sensation hits it out of the ballpark to start the foul. Next up, Carlos Correa. Bomba! Home run! The Astros' second home run of the inning, but LA was not done yet. Kike Hernandez drills it into left field, bringing home Logan Forsythe from second base to tie the game. But the fight would only last so long. George Springer takes it for a ride and says, "This one is over." A 2-run homer ended up being the game's clincher. Houston then closed it out to even the series at 1 with Game 3 tonight.
Caught on camera, one former student donated the ultimate prize for the best essay winner at Christopher Dina Elementary School in Los Angeles. But for 10-year-old Alejandro Herrera, it meant so much more. The World Series is in LA for the first time in 29 seasons, and Alejandro was not going to miss it. Alejandro was born in Mexico, but has been attending Christopher Dina Elementary School in LA for 72 days. The essay prompt asked students to explain why they are a Dodgers fan, and for Alejandro, this came easy. He's been a diehard Dodgers fan for as long as he can remember, and it certainly runs in the family. He got to take his older sister to Game 2 with him. Alejandro hopes to one day give back in the same way when he's an adult.
Wow, Meredith, what a prize. I'll tell you what I'd give to be in Los Angeles right now.
Me too, and Game 3 is just an hour away.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing tonight, Meredith, but I gotta say I'm not gonna be with Alejandro here. I'm gonna be going for the Astros.
You know, I disagree. I'm totally with Alejandro, rooting for the Dodgers.
Well, I wouldn't hold my breath on that one, because let's just say I don't think the Dodgers are gonna leave with a W. That's all for tonight on Sports Desk. I'm David Perez.
And I'm Meredith Sloan. Good night.